Thank you very much, Colin. Well, the teams have come out onto the pitch, and that means that this game goes ahead. We start with the Irish national anthem, Ár na Bhíon. Tonight, it's the boys in white for Ireland as we await the Italian anthem. This is 5 Live from the BBC at Euro 2012, but joining in with the Italians there, thousands and thousands of Irish fans twirling their scarves in the air, clapping their hands and joining in with the upbeat tempo of that marvellous anthem, proudly sung by the Italian players, and they belted it out, I can tell you. Gianluigi Buffon, the goalkeeper and captain, very much to the fore in that regard. But the Irish fans are here. Their team may be out in terms of a competitive nature and contesting Euro 2012, but I don't think Kevin Kilbane there was any chance these Irish fans were going to go home early, and they've made a lot of friends here this past week. Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they always do. We arrived in Poznan late last week, leading up to the first Croatian game, and they travelled so well. They've conducted themselves in great fashion. Certainly when we arrived in Gdansk and Sopot, the support that we've seen from the Irish is truly magnificent, and you know, they've been questioned in some quarters, I think, over the last few days, but you have to say they've conducted themselves in such a great manner and in typical Irish fashion. Ireland's manager Giovanni Trapattoni played at a World Cup for Italy, managed Italy, but the Irish fans have their song now. They sing Trapattoni, he used to be Italian but he's Irish now. There was a warm embrace between the two managers, Trapattoni and Prandelli, when they met in the tunnel earlier on. And just to put in context the gap of managerial experience between Trapattoni and Prandelli, Prandelli played for Trapattoni at Juventus, and Trapattoni has been a manager since Cesare Prandelli was just 18 years of age. And we should also mention the Irish players wearing armbands tonight. It was exactly 18 years ago, on the 18th of June 1994, that Ireland beat Italy for the first time in their history. It was Ray Hatton's famous goal at Giant Stadium in New York. but also a poignant date as 6 Catholic men who were watching that game in a pub were murdered by a gunman in Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland players are wearing black armbands tonight as a sign of respect to those who lost their lives in Loughlin Island in that massacre. So all the players wearing armbands, Damien Duff tonight with the additional one, and that is the captain's armband to match and to mark his 100th appearance for his country.
Yeah, wonderful servant Damien's been over the years, and not just that, I mean, he's arguably one of Ireland's greatest ever players. He's produced time and time again at club level. He's won a couple of Premier League titles. He's won a few other trophies along his career, and he's proved what a wonderful player he is. And certainly when he's been playing for Ireland, the Irish fans have seen the best of Damien since the back end of the 90s.
How much pressure do you think is on the Italians tonight, Kevin? You know, they came through qualifying unbeaten. They've yet to win a game, though, in the calendar year 2012. We're about to start.
Well, the thing is, what the Italians have been talking about, time and time again, you hear the Trapattoni factor mentioned. We were in the press conference yesterday, and Prandelli mentioned it.
An early chance for Ireland. Kevin Doyle gets on the ball and breaks through the centre. Doyle will lunge again, and Buffon makes the save. And I'm not sure where the Italian defenders' heads are at the moment, but they're not in this game in the opening 10 seconds. That could have been one of the quickest goals of all time.
Well, I think that was Pirlo. He's tried to play it back to Chiellini. Chiellini was looking elsewhere, I think, at that time. Kevin Dell stepped in. He was 20 yards out from goal. I think he should have took the shot on early. Tried to catch out Buffon. He delayed his shot, and the Italian defence got back as cover.
So a nervy start for Italy, and Abate, who's come into the team at right back, clears it away towards the halfway line. There's a confident back heel from Cassano, and Di Natale can break into the Irish half. Down the right hand side, defenders trying to get back into position. Snapshot comes in, but it's well wide and off target from Daniele De Rossi, the Roma midfielder. We are very much up and underway here. Italy 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Chances at both ends inside the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, just looking up at the clock there, not even 1 minute gone and 2 efforts on goal from both Ireland and Italy. I mean, the one thing that's been striking straight away in this game, Ireland probably recognise that they've got to do something tonight. They've got to try and register some sort of result. They've gone straight at the Italians, playing a high line against them, and that could be key. Maybe Robbie Keane and Kevin Doyle pressing higher up the pitch this evening, that allows the back four to get higher up the pitch in turn.
So here is the Italian team in full. Gianluigi Buffon in goal, his 117th cap. A back four of Abate, Barzagli, Chiellini and Balzaretti. In the holding midfield role for Italy, Andrea Pirlo, who scored the other night. Marchisio is in there as well. The cheer in the background because Robbie Keane was chasing a long ball, but he wasn't ever going to get there ahead of the goalkeeper. Marchisio with Thiago Motta, Daniele De Rossi in those attacking midfield positions, and the two up front, Antonio Di Natale, the veteran striker, with Antonio Cassano of AC Milan alongside him. And Cassano was the top scorer in qualifying. And interesting, listening back to that commentary from 8 years ago, it was Cassano who scored that night in Portugal when Italy, in a similar position like this, final game in the group, thought if we win this game we go through, as long as it's not 2-2 in the other game, and it was. And I can tell you they are up and underway elsewhere in Group C in Gdansk. Despite the threat of a storm, Spain against Croatia has already kicked off, and commentary of that game on our sister station 5 Live Sports Extra. Here is Damien Duff in possession, wide on the right hand side. He might have been pushed there as the ball went out for a throw, and I think it's going to be a free kick to the Republic of Ireland, wide on the right hand side. So quickly their team, given as the goalkeeper, back four, O'Shea, Dunn, St Ledger and Ward. Midfield, Duff, Whelan, Andrews and McGeady, and up front Keane and Doyle. Duff is going to take this free kick himself, and Ireland is sending plenty of players forward.
Yeah, one thing that's been notable really early on in this game, Kevin Doyle has outjumped Chiellini twice. Kevin Doyle, I felt, was one of Ireland's better players against Croatia, and he started the game in the same fashion here this evening.
So here comes the free kick from Duff, left-footed, in-swinging, Doyle close to it, doesn't get a firm enough connection. Andrews following up, tried to drill in a shot, but that was blocked away. Duff picks up the pieces on the right-hand side, a strong challenge from Abate, who's only making his 3rd cap. The referee says nothing wrong with that. It was a fair challenge, and that's just going to be a goal kick to Italy, and a few boos from the Irish supporters.
Well, that was a wonderful chance for Kevin Doyle. I think he just misread the cross going into the box. Damien Duff put a wonderful ball in, an in-swinging cross with his left foot. Kevin Doyle found himself free, all of 6 or 7 yards out, but just didn't get any connection on the header. Really, really good chance for the Irish early on this game. I've been very impressed the way they've started, simply because they're playing a much higher line and going at the Italians.
That's the voice of Kevin Kilbane sitting alongside me here in Poznan. This is the stadium where the the Manchester City dance was originated from. And I can tell you, having been at the 2 previous Republic of Ireland games in this tournament, it is much, much warmer tonight than it was in those games. And the Irish fans have been peeling down to the most barest layer here in the heat of the evening. Ireland win possession in midfield. It's Aidan McGeady, number 7 on his back. Short to the feet of Kevin Doyle, who only scored twice in the qualifiers. McGeady gives it back to the left-hand side, and it's McGeady against Abate here, and the defender has done well, and he puts it out for a throw-in. A couple of female Italian fans away to our left have just given each other the high five. It's like a scene out of Charlie's Angels or something, but they're pleased with something in the early stages here in Poznan. Pirlo picks up the ball on the edge of the penalty area. He's been fouled by Keith Andrews, and that's going to be a free kick to the Italians, and we have played less than 5 minutes here, 0-0.
You have to say as well, I'm looking at Aidan McGeady, he looks confident this evening as well. He might have a point to prove. He's been in for a little bit of stick through the media over the last few days. I've been noticing 1 or 2 of them when you've been speaking to him in the press conferences saying, look, McGeady's not in the best of form, but tonight he looks right up for it. He fancies himself, and I think McGeady I felt coming into this tournament as a key player for the Irish, how they were going to progress.
0-0 here in Poznan, 0-0 also in Gdansk between Spain and Croatia in this group. And a draw not enough for Italy tonight. They must win the game. By the way, if Republic of Ireland win, Ireland will not finish bottom of the group. That's the main thing they can play for. An Irish win sees them finishing 3rd.
And I think as well, every major tournament the Irish have been in, they've won a game. So I think tonight they have a point to prove. This team don't want to go out with a whimper. They don't want to go out not winning a game. So there's a big incentive for the Irish players this evening.
Abate for Italy, midway inside the Irish half on the right-hand side. Gives it off to Cassano. A few boos for him. No one's picking up Pirlo on the edge of the penalty area, but Pirlo's first-time pass was straight at Glenn Whelan, and a chance for Ireland to break away. It's been a wonderful open game here. Doyle makes up 40 yards. He's into the penalty area. Barzagli comes across to push him out of play. And although Kevin Doyle wants a corner, the referee says that's just a goal kick.
That looked a corner to me as well. Kevin Doyle, very positive run. He's run straight at the heart of the defence. And, you know, all the players, the Irish players tonight, they just look so much more confident. Like we talked before about they might have a point to prove. I'm not too sure about that. They have got a lot of quality within this squad. Kevin Doyle, again, he's looking a key player for the Irish this evening.
Ireland have been big news in Italy since pre-tournament. Obviously they've got an Italian manager, but they had their training camp for a week in Italy and Tuscany, so they were in the news over there. And this is Abate, who's once again found space on the right-hand side, but his cross hits Stephen Ward, and that goes out for the first Italian corner of the game down the right-hand side. This is 5 Live for the BBC, Group C at Euro 2012. And it's Italy 0, Republic of Ireland 0.
Yeah, I mean, Abate is going to be a very offensive player. He's going to be one that's going to be trying to provide width, try and get crosses into the box. And of course, there's the danger man, Pirlo.
And it is Pirlo who takes the corner, finds a teammate in the centre. Chance for Italy as it's hoofed away by Sean St. Ledger. The ball for a moment bounced up in front of Thiago Motta, the Paris Saint-Germain midfielder. But it was cleared away by St. Ledger, the only Irish player to have gotten on the score sheet at this tournament so far. So we told you they're underway in Gdansk, Croatia against Spain. Let's get the latest from there, Juliet Farrington.
And it's Croatia 0, Spain 0. A really good positive start from both, but we've just got a break in play. A flare was thrown from the top of the stand into the bottom, smoke drifting across the penalty area right now. As for the game itself, Croatia exploiting space, but Torres has had the real first effort on goal from Xabi's corner. Torres heading over and clear of it. Logic suggests, of course, a Spanish win. Dark blue clouds descending, full of noise. It's 0-0.
Thanks very much. At the moment, Spain and Croatia would be the 2 teams going through out of Group C. We'll keep you right up to date if there's any changes in that. Daniele De Rossi has played a wonderful 40-yard pass out to Balzaretti on the left-hand side, and his early cross into the centre met by Richard Dunn, and Ireland clear it away for a throw taken quickly. Cassano has played a beautiful ball into the penalty area. De Rossi slides, Dunn matches him with the lunge and puts it out for a corner to Italy.
Well, both Italian fullbacks, Balzaretti and Alberti, getting forward at every opportunity because they know they've got Pirlo that will be the one that will sit in for them. So I know the Irish are playing a very high line with Robbie Keane and Kevin Doyle pressing the back four, but Pirlo's providing the cover when the fullbacks push forward.
Irish fans making the noise, but it's Italy on the attack. Pirlo's cross, Andrews with a very comprehensive header from deep inside the penalty area, almost as far as the halfway line. That's relieved a lot of pressure. Marchisio has to turn, gives it back to Abate, and now Thiago Motta, little 1-2 between himself and Giorgio Chiellini. the captain, and this is back to the AC Milan man, Abate on the right-hand side. Into Cassano, who's seen a lot of the ball in the early stages. But Italy shepherded backwards now, and they go back into their own half. And Barzagli, who's back in the team tonight, and is, in a way, the introduction of him is what's forced this switch back to 4 in defence. 4 defenders, holding midfielder, 3 attacking midfielders, and 2 up front from the Italians. Mario Balotelli is on the bench. This is Motta, left of centre in midfield. Italy playing from left to right as we look down. The blue jerseys, white shorts and the blue socks. Ireland in the change strip of white, as Richard Dunn sticks in a leg on the edge of the penalty area, and Daniele De Rossi has been penalised for a high boot, I'd imagine, and that's going to be a free kick to Ireland.
Yeah, I think the system where the Italians are playing tonight, that 4-1-3-2 system, he is. We were listening to Prandelli yesterday in the press conference saying that he likes his players to express themselves, play with freedom, go out and enjoy themselves. I was very impressed with the way that he spoke yesterday in that press conference. And you know, we think of the Italians in recent tournaments and tournaments in bygone days being very defensive. Talk about the Trapattoni team being very defensive, but Prandelli's a different animal. He likes his team to be very defensive, very attack-minded, and you know that we see it in this team tonight, the way he's set up.
He's a cool character, is Prandelli. I think we're all impressed with him yesterday at the press conference. Very much making sure that expectations were kept out. Here's Cassano's cross into the centre for Italy, and John O'Shea, under his own crossbar, has to stoop and put that out for a corner. It's another corner for the Italians, and they have certainly had a lot of the ball in attacking positions. But you know, it's been a good. I mean, you know, everyone's saying what a good tournament it's been. Been a good start to this game tonight as well. Yeah,
we've seen it time and time again. For the tournament, they've been wonderful games. You saw it last night again. 2 wonderful games. We're just hoping we can match this evening.
Here comes the corner once again. Richard Dunn underneath it, and that's been put out for another corner. I must say, UEFA are great at providing all the stats and the up-to-date information. I can see on my monitor here that the Croatia-Spain game, Spain have had 74% of the possession so far, as McGeady clears the ball away for Ireland, and that relieves a bit of pressure from the corner. And Irish fans who had to go through the torture of having to watch that 4-0 victory will know just how it feels to give Spain that much of the ball, and I'm sure Croatia feeling it tonight.
Well, we saw it against the Irish. They started the game so dominant, to score so early, that allowed them to maybe relax a little bit. But the Spanish, I mean, I think they completed a record for the European Championships with that victory over Ireland in pass completion. If they have a lot of the ball, then it's very, very difficult for teams to get it off them.
How much of the ball have they had? Juliet Farrington.
Well, they're starting to assert some authority now in this Gdansk arena. It's Croatia 0, Spain 0, but Spain, obviously, they will win the group with a win tonight. They've just broke forward. Iniesta with the first effort on target, but Spain's passing the ball around. Torres and Iniesta going close. Spain 0, Croatia 0.
Thanks, Juliet. Here, Aidan McGeady wanders into an offside position. There can't have been too much in it. You were very impressed with Iniesta in the Spain-Ireland game, Kevin.
I think the 2 games Iniesta, I thought he was magnificent. It's definitely against the Irish. I mean, you would rarely ever get a chance to see Iniesta live, or Silva, and players love this calibre, and Xavi. I was so impressed with Iniesta, with his movement. He could beat a player, he could pick a pass. I thought he was outstanding.
Italy in possession here in Poznan. We haven't had any of the rain, and we're told a thunderstorm coming our way later on tonight. Not good news for Kevin Kimball, who's got a very early flight in the morning, as the ball is played in by De Rossi into the Ireland penalty area, and it bounces once up into the arms of Shea Given, and he'll bowl it out low to Stephen Ward on the left hand side. McGeady playing a more central role than we've seen in the game so far. Ward infield to Keith Andrews. Italy pressing far up the field, not allowing Ireland to easily make their way up to the halfway line.
Yeah, and mentioned McGeady as well. He seems to be floating around everywhere. He just made a really good crossfield run before. If Damien Duff had spotted the run early, he could have played him in, but he just run offside.
Here comes Cassano again. Well tackled though, and Andrews to Robbie Keane, and now McGeady up to the halfway line. Injection of pace from Aidan McGeady. Turns, gives it back to Andrews on the halfway line, and now Italy have been able to re-establish a full complement of defenders. Floated out towards John O'Shea on the far side. The Ireland fans like that. Warm applause for the crossfield ball, and O'Shea of Sunderland sends a rather less cultured, straightforward ball directly forward, which carries all the way through to the Juventus goalkeeper Buffon.
Yeah, Keith Andrews, I felt he's probably been Ireland's best player through the tournament. I think he's played really, really well, done himself a lot of credit, but I felt in the Spain game he might have been trying to take too much of the load on from a defensive point of view. He's running out of position sometimes to try and close the Spanish players down, trying to dictate the play, and I felt at times that caused a few little holes in the Irish midfield, and the Spanish of course exploited that.
Both games so far at this tournament, Ireland were already behind by this stage in the game. I mean, both matches they conceded within 4 minutes. Things have been a little bit steadier tonight. Here comes Robbie Keane on the shoulder of Barzagli, the defender, but didn't he defend ever so well? Just hustled Robbie Keane off the ball, gives it back to Buffon, and the Italians look to play their way out of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the way that the Irish have played over the years, it has been a little bit defensive at times. But if you don't concede in games, it can frustrate the quality opposition like we've seen in the Italians. So the longer this game goes on 0-0, the more the Irish are going to come into it.
Thiago Motta, the Brazilian-born player, to the near touchline. Casado's early ball in. Sean St. Ledger was well positioned. Pirlo collects it with a little bit of space. And I said a little bit because Kevin Doyle was arriving in like a train. It was a tackle from behind. Pirlo goes to deck. Ireland play on. Italy temporarily with 10 men. Whelan tries to scoop it over the top. Robbie Keane will chase after this, but it's towards the corner flag now on the left-hand side. He's done well here to get it back to Doyle. Pirlo is still down. It's not a head injury. Referee is allowing play to continue, and I think Doyle himself is now going to bring things to a halt. Ball is put out of play, and some treatment can come on if necessary for Andrea Pirlo. He was caught from behind by Kevin Doyle, but I think the referee felt it was a fair tackle.
Yeah, there was nothing in it really. I think he's just kicked the back of Kevin Doyle's calf. He's coming from the side. It was a really, really good challenge. The Irish look confident here, you have to say.
Let's go back to the reigning champions. Spain playing Croatia tonight in Gdansk. Juliet Ferrington.
It's still 0-0, and Iniesta with the only shot on target so far, forcing the first save of the night as well. But Spain really keeping the ball, dominating possession. Torres, he's also had a chance. But if watching this performance, if Croatia are going to get a sniff, it'll be on the break. It's a real defensive lineup by Slaven Bilic tonight. Discipline though, 0-0. Croatia and Spain still going through.
Don't forget, full commentary of that game right now on our sister station 5 Live Sports Extra. Here in Poznan, Italy are waiting to see how Pirlo is going to fare. Play will resume with a drop ball. Even though Kevin Doyle had kicked it out of play, I think the referee had brought things to a halt a second or two before that, and Italy will give the ball back to the Irish, and I think Pirlo's going to be all right.
Yeah, I think it was a great tackle by Kevin Doyle.
It might have been his pride more than his body that was hurt there.
Yeah, probably the old legs maybe just delaying his pass a second too long, and the younger legs of Kevin Doyle coming back to make the challenge.
So a long ball played forward here by Shea Giffen. Doyle tries to control it on his chest midway into the Italian half, but Marchisio comes in and takes it off him, and this is Balzaretti on the left-hand side. Here is Pirlo. He looks fine. Up to the halfway line. Short to the feet of De Rossi. Back to Pirlo once again. Now De Rossi puts another of these high angled balls into the penalty area. Casado controlled it on his chest and then slipped, and that awarded Stephen Ward the opportunity to just burst in and put it out for the corner. Yeah,
it was a really good run from Casano. Once he's made the run, he's made the passer's mind up to that diagonal pass to him. Stephen Ward just a couple of times against the Spanish, I felt the other night, his body position was a little bit wrong at times, and he got caught out with those diagonal passes, so just maybe needs to be careful tonight.
17 minutes played. Italy on the attack from the corner, which has been taken short. Marchisio across into a bit of space here for Balzaretti, but he always was underneath that, and it's a poor shot from distance and well off target. On a night when the permutations could get very, very complicated indeed, it's very straightforward for now. Group C at the moment is as we were at kickoff. Spain at the moment go through if things stay as they are as group leaders. Croatia would be in second place. Italy would go out, and the Republic of Ireland would finish at the bottom of the group. That is as things stand at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the Irish do frustrate the Italians. They've done it in recent times, and I think we've seen it this evening. That shot just demonstrated that. A shot from 30 yards, no real hope of scoring, I didn't think, of beating Shea Giffen from that sort of distance. So the Irish, if the longer this game goes on, I was talking about Prandelli early on. He was in the press conference yesterday just saying we have to concentrate on beating the Irish. He was confident of doing that. But, you know, the Irish, the way they play against Italians' team in recent times, Trapattoni does have a factor against them, and they really, really fear him.
Free kick to the Republic of Ireland here. Chiellini went into the back of Kevin Doyle. I think it was a clash of heads, but the referee had judged that Chiellini was the man committing the foul. I mentioned the warmth here. A lot of sweaty faces around the ground. A lot of melting face paint. As Duff and Whelan stand over the free kick, which is fully 20 yards outside the penalty area. Certainly not shooting distance, but a chance to push the big man forward. And here comes the delivery from Duff. That's a nice ball towards the back post. Richard Dunn heads it into the centre. Doyle nods it down. Referee's whistle has been blown. I think there was some pushing in there, and the free kick has been awarded to Italy. Still 0-0.
Yeah, it looks as if he pulled Richard Dunn up for the foul there. I mean, Richard Dunn's such a threat for the Irish. He's been a real threat for the Irish over the years. It looked a good ball to the far post by Damien Duff there. Richard Dunn attacked it, put it back into the danger area, but the referee saw a foul.
There's a flag away to our right hand side. It reads Richard Dunn gets the Euro Saver menu at one of Ireland's top fast foods chains. They're enjoying that. I'm not quite sure what Richard Dunn would say to that. Ball played forward by Keith Andrews, who's going to carry through all the way into the Italian penalty area, and Gianluigi Buffon collects the ball, gives it short to Chiellini. 20 minutes played now, 0-0. This is the sort of start Ireland would love to have had in their games against Croatia and Spain, just to keep things steady midway through the first half. Yeah, without a doubt, certainly in that Croatia game, because it was the start of a tournament. I think every Irish fan, we were in Poznan for that game, every Irish fan thought that we're going to go and win this game. I felt they did, actually. I felt they were going to win the match, but they needed to stay in contention so early on in the game, and it was just disappointing for the Irish that they conceded so early on. These two nations met at Italia 90 when Italy were the hosts, and a Scalacci goal put the Republic of Ireland out in the quarter-final of the World Cup. And they also met in 1994, as we mentioned. Ray Houghton's goal in Giant Stadium, and the Republic of Ireland shocked Italy in the opening game, which was 18 years ago today. Yeah, I remember the Italia 90 game as well. I thought the Irish dominated the Italians at times, played really well. It was probably the best performance of the World Cup, and they may have been in that semi-final if it wasn't for Toto Scalacci that evening. Yeah. Abiding memory as a young boy growing up in Ireland at the time was that Paul McGrath came within a whisker I should say, of intercepting that Scalacci shot, but the hosts went through. Here in Poznan 18 years later, it's 0-0 between Italy and the Republic of Ireland. Ireland already out of the group, playing for pride, playing to avoid the wooden spooner, if you like. They don't want 3 defeats, as Pirlo plays an angle ball. Once again, this one's not effective as previous efforts, and that's gone straight out for the corner flag. So 0-0 here. They've also played 21 minutes. Croatia against Spain in Gdansk. Juliet Farrington. Same scoreline here, but Spain making this look so easy. On top in terms of possession, just pinging the ball around, and you sense they will get a break sooner rather than later. Still the one shot though from Iniesta, and a Torres header in terms of goal-mouth action. Croatia 0, Spain 0. Chance for Ireland. McGeady comes forward down the right wing. John O'Shea shouts for it behind. McGeady goes for the corner flag, swings it across. Doyle jumps forward in the penalty area, and the way he fell would suggest he might have been pushed, but Kevin Doyle doesn't make much of it then as he gets back to his feet, and Italy can comfortably clear the ball away. Kevin Kilban. Yeah, it was probably good defending there by Barzagli at the far post, but Aidan McGeady's really impressed me at the start of this game. He's not just playing on that left wing, he's going left and right, he's floating into both areas. He's beat the full-back there and put a wonderful cross into the far post. Aidan McGeady's certainly been impressive at the start of this match. Yes, Aidan McGeady, who tonight wins his 50th cap for the Republic of Ireland, former Celtic player. Spartak Moscow paid a reported £9 million for him. He's been doing well over there in Russia as well. And this is Kevin Doyle, 15 yards inside the Italian half, and shrugging off Chiellini, finding Glenn Whelan on the edge of the penalty area. He's been herded out towards the corner flag, and the ball goes out of play, and it's just going to be a throw into Italy. Attacking position for Ireland, if you like, down that right hand side. We're approaching the midway point of the first half here. At the moment, Spain and Croatia are going through here in Group C. It's 0-0 between Italy and the Republic of Ireland, also 0-0 between Croatia and Spain, and John Murray is going to talk you through to half time here in Poznan.
Thanks, Connor. I don't think it's too much of an exaggeration to say it's a sweltering night here in Poznan after a beautiful day and a decent game that we're watching. At the moment, it would be Spain and Croatia who would go through to play whoever goes through from England's group tomorrow night. 0-0, but this is much better from the Republic of Ireland after the really miserable defeat against Spain. But there again, they're not playing Spain tonight. And now it's Ireland breaking away with McGeady over the halfway line. He's got Keane ahead of him. McGeady on his left foot. Oh, he's overrun it on the edge of the area. The ball will run for Ireland though. Duff almost received it there from McGeady. and it ricocheted away off an Italian leg and behind for Ireland's first corner.
He had a couple of options to the left of him as well. Damien Duff made a really good run, so did Kevin Doyle. Just overran it a little bit, but I've been impressed with Aidan McGeady. He carried the ball 30, 40, 50 yards there to the heart of the Italian defence. And you have to say the Italian defence do look a bit worried in this little spell for the Irish in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yes, this rejigged Italian defence tonight. Back four after they played their first 2 matches with 3 central defenders. Barzagli's back tonight. Corner is taken by Ireland. Swung into the penalty area, but over the top of St. Ledger, who was closest to it, over him and through for a goal kick. But it is much better for Ireland tonight, Kevin.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you're going back to the Italian side there. The Italians have probably worked on that back 3 system to focus in on those 2 games, what they might have thought the 2 big games, certainly the Spanish match. And then all of a sudden then you have to change and redo your system. You have to add personnel. It can hamper the team, and that's what we're seeing, I think, from this Italian team. They look a little bit uncomfortable at times.
Here's Marchisio, who's actually moved across to the right side of the centre midfield. De Rossi's playing on the left side. Italian attack breaks down with Di Natale, and now forward come Ireland once again, and that's a good ball from McGeady out to this left hand side to Doyle. Doyle plays it back across, doesn't reach Keane, who had to just pull the brakes on, and that meant that Marchisio was able to get back in and take possession, and Italy in the blue and white played away from their own defensive third. And now a little touch for Pirlo, who was clattered by that tackle, but it was a good tackle. It was Pirlo who kicked the leg of Kevin Doyle, and whatever ill effects there were have been shaken off, and Motta now with a touch through the middle, but a flick from Di Natale doesn't reach Cassano. And so far in the game, I would say that judging by what we've seen in the tournament so far, the Di Natale-Cassano partnership, it doesn't to me look as promising as the Balotelli-Cassano partnership, which admittedly didn't bring a goal in their first 2 games.
No, without it. I think Balotelli, without scoring the goals, he looked very, very sharp at times. But I mean, you look at the partnership from the Italians this evening. I think the Irish partnership of Robbie Keane and Kevin Doyle looks much more effective.
Now here's Duff on the left-hand side, captain tonight, winning his 100th cap, and he's fouled, and it's a free kick out on this left flank as Damien Duff just wanders away. It was Marchisio who put the challenge in and actually tugged his shirt, and that's why Duff went down. Free kick on the left-hand side. Damien Duff tonight becoming the 5th man to reach the 100 cap milestone for the Republic of Ireland. And one of the other 4 is sitting alongside us here tonight, Kevin Kilban. And we're watching Duff now in an unhurried way, picking up the ball himself from where it ended up, walking back and placing it to take this free kick in from the left-hand side. The Irish supporters all around the municipal stadium here, urging their team on, willing them to take the lead against the Italians. Duff swings it over. St. Ledger's there with the header, and the whistle has gone for a foul by St. Ledger. In any case, the header was wide and high and behind. Yeah,
I mean, the referee's pulling the Irish defence upon those when they're attacking the balls. Richard Dunn and Sean St. Ledger just there, sorry. Every time the ball's been put into the box, the Italians do look a little bit uncomfortable. Kevin Doyle's causing a lot of problems, and although I really like Chiellini as a player, I'm not too sure about his aerial prowess at times. He seems to get beaten quite easily. I've seen this evening by Kevin Doyle, and I've seen Kevin Doyle play against him a number of times over the years, and he's given him a lot of trouble.
Robbie Keane closing down Buffon, who's in possession, the Italian goalkeeper, and forcing him to play it out for an Irish throw. And it's thrown towards Robbie Keane on the right hand side. Keane who offered to give the captaincy tonight to his friend Damien Duff, winning his 100th cap. Throw-in came off Keane and out for a throw-in to the Italians, which is taken to Motta now nearer the halfway line. Back comes the challenge from Andrews, so the Italians have to move infield. Now it is De Rossi, still with his right wrist and hand bandaged. De Rossi to Marchisio. Marchisio finds Cassano just on the edge of the box. Cassano into the area on the right, pulls it across. Di Natale with a shot. It's blocked by Dunn, and the ball runs for Ireland, and they're able to get it away through Andrews.
It was a brilliant attack by the Italians, really incisive, good passing, but the Irish have seen it so many times over the years, that telling challenge at the last minute when you think there's a clear sight at goal. Richard Dunn puts his body on the line. He's been such a wonderful player for the Irish over the years, and it was a wonderful challenge in the heart of the 6-yard box there.
And Balzaretti has received the first yellow card of this game for a foul. Well, not so much a foul as a rugby tackle. I thought he was going to pull his shorts down at one stage, and Balzaretti responded to that by undoing his ponytail and then doing it up again. That in Italian shows that you're really cross.
Yeah, that was like Ireland Italy at the Aviva Stadium with a different code. So yeah, it was a challenge on McGeady there. McGeady looks confident this evening, and I think he really fancies his chances against these two fullbacks. Beatty is a bit more attacking, so when he does come over onto this left-hand side, he fancies his chances, and McGeady has looked a real threat for the Irish.
Both the Italian fullbacks making their first appearance of the tournament. Italy 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Ball played over the top, but beyond Di Natale, and Given gives it quickly out now in the space in front of Ward up the left-hand side here. Ward now finding Duff, who stayed on the left for the time being. Duff with Abate right behind him, goes back to Ward, and then Ward turns and plays it over the top. That's for Keane to chase, but he won't reach it, and Buffon has the ball safely for Italy. So from Poznan, let's head back to Juliet in Gdansk again.
And it's the same scoreline here, Croatia 0, Spain 0, but worrying signs for Croatia. Their star player Mandzukic, he went on the floor in the penalty area, appeared to go down under a challenge. It was pretty harsh. He's left the field hobbling. It doesn't look good. Chorluka was booked in the process. It's still Croatia 0, Spain 0.
Now the commentary from Gdansk is over on 5 Live Sports Extra with Ali Bruce Ball and Danny Mills, and here on 5 Live tonight it's Italy, Republic of Ireland, but this could change during the course of the evening depending on what's what. As it stands, it'll be Spain going through as group winners and Croatia as runners-up. But in this tournament, without 0-0 draws, we sort of expect goals, don't we? And I should point out that if that remains 0-0, if Italy win, they will qualify. And here they come with Balzaretti, pulls it across, turn from Di Natale, hits the shot, hits a defender. They're shouting for a penalty. It was St. Ledger, might have hit his arm, I'm not sure, but it bounced down and he was able to clear it away, and the Turkish referee ignored the appeals from the Italians.
Well, again, that was Balzaretti. He got to the byline, put a wonderful ball back. Was it Cassano or Di Natale? He's turned and swiveled into the box. He got a good shot away. Sean St. Ledger managed to get his body in the way of it. Sean St. Ledger, again, like Richard Dunn, has got himself in positions a lot of times and deflected the ball away from Shea Given's goal. But, I think that one might have been a little bit pacey, hitting him. It hit him high on the arm, maybe in the shoulder area. I don't know. I wouldn't have given it, John, no.
0-0, well, quelle surprise, as they say in Ireland. Here's Motta on the edge of the box, plays it back to De Rossi, pulls it square now to Pirlo. Pirlo so elegant with the long hair, the flowing locks, and Pirlo now with all the time chips it to the left hand side and finds Balzaretti in an offside position, and up go the arms. Excellent response from Balzaretti there, and back he trots towards the halfway line. Great expression from the Italian.
Yeah, to be honest with you, he's 2 or 3 yards onside. We had a really good view across there, and he didn't even look offside. But
that's why there was the expression.
Yeah, looking at Balzaretti though, he looks a real threat going forward. He's a natural left back. He's an attacking left back, the Palermo man. But I don't think Aidan McGee needs to get too distracted with that. He can pass the runner on to John O'Shea, try and stay the other side of him, because he's the one that's getting the Irish really high up the pitch, and he can exploit the space behind Balzaretti that he's left going forward.
Italy 0, Republic of Ireland 0. Still 0-0 in Gdansk as well. So Spain going through as group winners just at the moment, and Croatia as runners up. So over a quarter of these games played tonight, still 0-0. Last night in Group C. This time tomorrow you'll be listening or watching the England game, the final games in England's group. Trapattoni comes to the edge of his coaching area. There's space here for Pirlo. Always seems to be space for Pirlo. Infield towards the Brazilian, Motta. Brazilian born at least. Now to the edge of the area, and Di Natale trying to find a way through, and St. Ledger gets a touch, and with Motta arriving on the scene, St. Ledger just hikes it out for a throw on the left hand side. 0-0.
I think Richard Dunn initially made the challenge just to try and I think it was Di Natale, put Di Natale off. Motta's coming in. Motta's a really good runner from midfield. We haven't really seen it from him in these championships yet, but he's a good runner from midfield. He times his runs into the box, but Sean St. Ledger just swept it up and got it clear of any danger.
Back it goes to Pirlo, nearer the halfway line. really steamy, humid night. They'll be sweating out there, the 22 players, I don't doubt. Pirlo now once again to Di Natale. No Balotelli for Italy tonight. It just breaks down on the edge of the box. Back to Pirlo, the middle of the Irish half. He picks out the pass to Abate. Abate inside the area. And then a stabbed effort goalwards by Di Natale, but it hits St Ledger. Nowhere near his arm this time. And rebounds to Damien Duff, who wins a goal kick for Ireland. It's 0-0.
So I was going to say, that's what the Irish just need now, just to settle themselves down a little bit. Damien Duff won the goal kick. Just maybe get them higher up the pitch, because the Italians over the last 2 or 3 minutes have had a real good bit of pressure, although the Irish have defended it very, very well, but they just need to maybe try and get the foot on the ball like we've seen in the early parts of this match.
That's Kevin Kilban with us here on 5 Live. 110 caps for Kevin. That countdown and build up to the England game tomorrow night will begin in breakfast in the morning. Nicky Campbell will be among our team in Donetsk, and you'll hear him from 6 o'clock in the morning. You won't be appearing on breakfast in the morning, Kevin, I take it, since you'll be in the air at that time. In what must be one of the earliest recorded flights in Europe. Ball played forward for Di Natale. Given comes out. The angle's very tight for Di Natale. Only still got it on target, but it was cleared off the line by St Ledger. Did magnificently well, Di Natale there, to get it on target, but St Ledger in the right place at the right time to stop it going into the Irish net.
Yes, he did. He recognised the danger there. Shay Given came out from his goal. I think Shay
now a shot from Cassano that Given juggles wide. Oh my goodness, like a bar of soap. And Given immediately walks into the back of his net and pulls out a white towel and wipes his hands. That could have gone anywhere, that shot from Cassano.
Yeah, it caught Shay Given off a little bit there, and as Cassano hit it, the ball seemed to move a little bit. Shay Given couldn't get his body fixed and get his body behind it, and luckily for him it just spilled around the post.
Corner then for Italy. Oh, and it's headed at the near post by Cassano. Did the ball cross the line? It did. Cassano's header gives Italy the lead. It rattled down. There was a defender there. It was cleared onto the crossbar and out. But the Turkish assistant, has said, yes, it crossed the line. It's Cassano's goal, and it's Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0.
Yeah, I thought it was a goal. The linesman didn't actually give it. I don't think the official behind the goal gave it as well, but it looked a certain goal when I'd seen it. The Italians celebrated. It's quite rightly a goal, but I'd be more interested in the actual header from Cassano initially. I think he got the wrong side of Sean St Ledger. He couldn't actually get his body across him, and he made a wonderful run to the near post, headed it on goal. Shay Given couldn't keep it out, and it's disappointment for the Irish. A set play that they shouldn't really be conceding from.
Cassano got there to get the header, glancing. Given got a touch. It was very close to being an excellent save from Shay Given, but it then crossed the line before the defender on the far post was able to get it away, and the officials got it absolutely right. It did cross the line, and it's Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0. And this means that Italy, as the scores stand, would be going through as group winners, and Spain would be runners-up. And remember, if England finish runners-up, they would play the winners of this group. So were England to finish second in their group, just at the moment, the way the scores are, it would be England against Italy in the quarter-finals. Mind you, there's a long way to go before all that is resolved, and we can say that's the case. Keith Andrews has been yellow carded now for a foul on Pirlo. While Pirlo gets himself to his feet, let's cross to Juliet Ferrington again in Gdansk.
And that scoreline, John, seems to be seeping through the stands here in Gdansk. The Croatians have gone quiet. They really do need something now, and they certainly feel hard done by after the referee refused to award Mario Mandzukic a penalty after Ramos appeared to bring him down. It was a really strong challenge. Chorluka was booked in the process. Iniesta and Silva still with Spain's best chances, 0-0.
So Italy winning 1-0 against the Irish here. Much improved Irish performance, but done for by the set piece. And now they've got a free kick after that Andrews yellow card. His second of the tournament, but that's irrelevant really. It's only important for the game tonight that he's received a yellow card, because of course Ireland will go home after this game. Pirlo with the free kick in the middle of the Irish half. We know what he's capable of, Pirlo, from set-piece positions. Perhaps a little far out for him. Pirlo hits the top of the wall with the free kick, and it loops away, bounces high and away out towards the left-hand side, where Balzaretti, the left back, is going to take the throw. It just allows it to bounce up, and he catches it, and then takes the throw in back to De Rossi. having moved De Rossi, the Roma captain, from defence into midfield. Oh, Abate got himself into a tangle there. Might even have handballed it when Duff was putting him under pressure, but the referee doesn't give it. And Italy played forward again into the Irish half. And in fact, back it goes to De Rossi, who curls a ball down the left-hand side. O'Shea is there. And then there's a coming together between O'Shea and Balzaretti. O'Shea, his arms were whirling, and one of his arms has caught Balzaretti in the face. And again, we're seeing an exaggerated reaction from the Italian left back. And a yellow card for John O'Shea for that.
Yeah, John O'Shea certainly didn't mean that. As Balzaretti's gone over his shoulder, he's read the run, he managed to intercept the pass. It was a really good interception from him, but the ball spilled into the air. When it's coming down, John O'Shea didn't even know Balzaretti was going to run across him, and he caught him in the face. It wasn't a yellow card for me, that, and John O'Shea is a little hard done by with that one.
If we could put a caption to the reaction from Balzaretti there, I think it would be Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
The free kick for Pirlo on the left-hand side. Excellent stereotyping, I felt. Pirlo is going to take this right-footed movement from Chiellini. In fact, he just taps it short, and Di Natale will lift it high towards the back post, and there it's pulled across from the back, and there on the edge of the Irish area is Keane, who was fouled. Sliding challenge came in on him from Cassano. It was Cassano actually who received the free kick out on the left-hand side and lifted it over for Di Natale, but a free kick to Ireland on the edge of their own box. So 1-0 Italy lead, still Spain 0, Croatia 0. So just at the moment, Italy going through as group winners and the defending champions as runners-up in this group. Just seeing a replay of the goal. Shea Given got a hand to it. Damien Duff on the post. But I think it all happened so quickly. I'm not sure that you can, say Damien Duff should have got that away. I really don't.
No, I mean, I'm just looking at the third official and the fifth and sixth official. I don't know what you would actually call them behind the goal, but they didn't actually seem to react. You have to give full credit to the referee. He seemed in a good position. I think he was the one that gave the goal, but the officials behind the goal, he's got a clear view of it. He's maybe 5 yards, 10 yards away, maximum away from that incident, and he doesn't put his stick up and makes any decision. And they're the people who are employed, and they're the ones that are put out to really make these decisions and make these calls and try and help the referees out.
5 minutes to go to half-time here in Poznan, in the stadium, this so atmospheric stadium. We've already, at one point in the first half, seen the Irish supporters do the Poznan. And it's a three-tiered end to our right, and it's so effective in there. It's mainly green in there, and in many other parts of the ground as well. Lots of Italian flags as well, making reference to what they call the biscotto. I'm not entirely sure how this translates, but this is all to do with the potential carve-up should it end as a 2-2, 3-3, 4-4, whatever draw in the Spain-Croatia game, which, regardless of what Italy do, would knock the Italians out. That's what they call it. Free kick for Italy in the centre circle.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if the line's actually flagged against Robbie Keane. That was maybe 20-30 yards further forward than Kevin Doyle there. Kevin Doyle looked onside to me because Chiellini was very, very deep, but again, sometimes the referees and linesmen make decisions that do baffle us all.
This biscotto, I think they call it the cookie, and there is actually one flag, I'm told, over on the far side that says the cookie is eaten only at Christmas, Di Natale. As I say, the whole thing's lost in translation, but that is particularly lost in translation for me. Di Natale, of course, does mean Christmas. Here is Chiellini over the halfway line. And now Italy with this 1-0 lead. It could yet become really, really complicated this evening, should it finish 1-1 between Spain and Croatia, because that means all the games between Spain and Croatia and Italy would have finished 1-1. And there is a scenario where the coefficient does come into it. Should it finish 1-1 in Gdansk and 3-1 to Italy here, and Italy would go through in those circumstances. But again, we're a little way away from that at the moment, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's 1-0 to Italy. The Cassano goal, his first at the tournament. Cassano did score, of course, in that game at Euro 2004 when Italy won, were unbeaten in the group under Trapattoni, yet still went out because of the 2-2 between Sweden and Denmark. Here's Duff now on the left-hand side, gets away from Abate. Abate recovers and puts in a crunching, classic Italian defender's tackle to take the ball and the man. Superb work from the right back. And now here they go. And it is Di Natale with his head down over the halfway line, gives it to the goal scorer Cassano. Cassano can space to his left hand side. De Rossi on his right foot, but he's closed down by McGeady, who blocks the intended pass away, and Italy have to start again from nearer the halfway line, which they do.
Aidan McGeady's probably doing a little bit too much work defensively right now. He started the game in real top form here for the Irish, and I think that the Irish have just maybe dropped off maybe 5 or 10 yards the back four. That's allowed the midfielder to drop a little bit deeper. If they can maybe be a bit more positive, play a little bit of a higher line, which will allow McGeady to get in a higher position and get the ball in attacking and in advanced positions, going at the heart of that Italian defence like he was doing in the early part of the match.
Motta inside the penalty area wins another Italian corner off Richard Dunn. So last time they had a set piece, last time they had a corner over there, they scored from it. The Cassano near post header. This is 5 live. Italy 1 up. Pirlo swings it in again, and Cassano is very nearly there again, but it reached Chiellini and it was headed away in between the two Italians. And that was a near thing to a repeat performance. Yeah, it was a wonderful ball. And you've got to say it's Pirlo's quality that makes these set pieces look so effective for Italy. It was a great ball in from him for the goal. It was another wonderful ball in from him, and he rarely ever disappoints on his set plays, whether it's a free kick, shooting for goal, or a corner going right into the heart of the defence. He's very, very dangerous. Chiellini fouls Kevin Doyle near the halfway line. He's a crafty individual, Chiellini, and how he gets away with some of the challenges. It was borderline yellow card, and the Turkish referee, just decided it was this side of yellow card, but he completely broke up the potential Irish attack. Here they come again, Ireland. Whelan plays it forward towards Keane. No free kick. Ireland this time. Boos from the boys and the girls in green and white. Go back to Gdansk again in a moment, in the last minute of the first half here, but Italy trying to build once more. Forward it comes. As it stands, Italy going through as group winners, Spain as runners-up, and Croatia going out with Ireland. De Rossi, just over the halfway line again, looks to Pirlo. Pirlo's there, just forward of the centre circle. Now it's to Cassano. Cassano, it might open up from here, but in comes Duff with a challenge to play it off Cassano and back through to Shea Given. Yeah. So, sorry, Kevin, we'll just hear from Juliet Farrington in Gdansk.
It's still 0-0 approaching half-time. Spain really playing the patient game, John, but it's a little bit edgy now because of that scoreline where you are. You can sense it in this arena. Croatia, they have to come out, but they're struggling to keep hold of possession. Croatia 0, Spain 0.
Thank you, Juliet. So that game will continue on 5 Live Sports Extra, but the first half action is over here in Poznan. 1-0 to Italy at half-time, and the headlines, Kevin, a much improved Irish performance this evening, but same story as the first two games. They're behind. Without a doubt, it was a really good performance, I felt, in the first half of that half, really there. But to concede a goal from a set play against an Italian side that haven't really got a lot of height in the team. Cassano's one of the smaller players in the side. It was the ball from Pirlo that made the goal. Cassano attacked it, and the Irish have been really, really disappointed with that because it's totally unlike them. So, half-time. Cassano's goal, it's Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0.
Thanks very much, Colin. Teams back out on the field and no changes in personnel for either. So Giovanni Trapattoni, who will live by the sword, die by the sword. He's going to stick with these far, have not done so well at Euro 2012. If the Republic of Ireland were to concede 2 more goals here and finish in a 3-0 defeat, theirs would be the worst ever performance by a nation at a European Championships. And just to quickly refer to Robbie's point, any team here could win a final group game by 10 goals to 0 and still go out, depending on circumstances, in a group, because the first criteria is head-to-head, and I think their rationale would be that if you beat the other country head-to-head, then regardless of what you do in the other games, if you finish level on points, that you deserve to go through because you've beaten that other opponent. But that's a longer debate for another night. Back underway, Republic of Ireland in their white jerseys, green shorts, white socks, playing from left to right as we look down, attacking the end, which Ireland conceded the goal. Cassano's header in the first half. Shea Given very nearly saved it, but it went in, and Given certainly seemed to hesitate or stall just in terms of giving away the corner when a shot from distance was fumbled out of his hands. And despite one or two saves, Kevin Kilbannon, and I know you're friends with Shay Given, it's going to be the errors that people take away from this tournament when they think back of Shay's involvement.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's been a couple of goals that he's been questioned on in the first two games before this tonight. I felt as well he really didn't need to run out of his goal for the Natali chance earlier on in that half as well. So I think he might just be a little bit low on confidence. And sometimes when you're low on confidence, you do strange things, and your mind takes over. You try to force things, and normally you wouldn't normally do, because Shea has been such a good, consistent, calm goalkeeper over his career, and all of a sudden you might make a little mistake and you start to do things that you're not normally used to.
Here come Italy down the left hand side. Balzaretti, I'll give you a full rundown of the teams in just a moment when we get a break in play. Gives it into Cassano, the goal scorer, who's tackled by Glenn Whelan, and Ireland get it back to goalkeeper Shay Given. His right-footed clearance is away up towards the halfway line. Pumped back into the mix though by De Rossi, and it'll fall for Cassano. 4 yards outside the penalty area. Good pass. Balzaretti pulls it across the face of goal. Shot comes in, deflects up St. Ledger, and Di Natale comes close to making it 2-0.
Both St. Ledger and Richard Dunn both get themselves in positions to try and deflect the ball away from goal. A couple of times in that first half, Di Natale and Cassano got themselves free 6-8 yards out, but they both defended very, very well, and Sean St. Ledger again got himself into good position just to deflect that shot away from goal.
Here comes Pirlo's corner. Italy scored from a corner in the first half. Andrews heads it away. It's going to fall for Balzaretti, and he'll hook it back out to Pirlo, who's unmarked on the left hand side, having taken that corner. Pirlo into the penalty area, sidesteps around McGeady, crosses towards the back post, and it's headed away by Glenn Whelan, only as far as Balzaretti. Tries to give it back out to Pirlo, and this time John O'Shea is much closer to him, and he makes sure to head that ball out of play for a throw in to the Italian. So Cassano's goal, his 10th in international football, after a season in which he missed so much of the game. He was out injured at one stage. They thought he might never come back to play professional football, and he'd only scored once at club level since October, but he scored the goal here tonight for Italy. Here comes another ball by Abate towards the edge of the box. Richard Dunn wins in the air, heads it straight to Balzaretti. Now a 1-2 on the box, and a little dummy as well around McGeady. Oh, that's brilliant play. Cassano must score. Saved on the line by Richard Dunn, who ensured that Shay Given didn't have to. Back out to Pirlo. The Italians are going to get another chance here. Ireland are digging in. 8 players inside the penalty area, and eventually Balzaretti on his weaker right foot goes for goal from distance, and that careers high and over the crossbar.
I know, again, I spoke about Richard Dunn. It was great play by Balzaretti down that left wing. He sidestepped McGeady. It was great play, and Richard Dunn, he has a knack of really finding positions just in front of Shay Given at times, just to deflect the ball away from him. He's such a very, very good defender, and the ball is like a magnet to him at times in that box.
And that build-up involving Balzaretti and Cassano, very similar in many ways to how the Spaniards attacked against Ireland in the game earlier in the week. But here come Ireland down the other end. Robbie Keane gives it to Kevin Doyle on the right hand side. Italy with plenty of defenders back. Doyle 10 yards outside the penalty area, short to McGeady, who's against the touchline. Little step over, comes inside and allows O'Shea to overlap him. Here comes the cross from O'Shea, and difficult for Doyle, who volleys it over the crossbar. The ball came in behind him, and he to try and swivel and shoot all in one motion, and he's put it too high.
Yeah, it was good play by John O'Shea. Recognised Aidan McGeady was in a little bit of difficulties. He couldn't get away from his man. It was a 2-on-1 situation. Made the run. In turn, that got Balzaretti to come a little bit deeper. John O'Shea puts the ball into the box, but that's what the Irish need to do. They've got to really press them higher up the pitch and really make it difficult for the Italians, because the Italians have started this second half really well, and if you get them, if you allow them possession on the ball, they're going to hurt you. So the Irish really need to try and start closing them down higher up the pitch and disaffecting the real Italian attacks.
Good challenge by Andrews in midfield. I'm aware I've not had a break in play to give you a full rundown of the teams, but this is McGeady on the halfway line being closed down by De Rossi, and McGeady's sent it back behind Stephen Ward, and Ireland back inside their own half. So Buffon, the Italian goalkeeper, Abate, Barzagli, Chiellini and Balzaretti are the back four. Pirlo sits in front of them. Marchisio, Motta and De Rossi in attacking midfield positions, and Di Natale alongside Cassano up front. The Republic of Ireland team, the same one that started against Croatia in the opening match, given the goalkeeper O'Shea, Dunn, St. Ledger and Ward in defence. In midfield, Duff, Whelan, Andrews and McGeady, with Robbie Keane and Kevin Doyle up front. front. Long ball played forward from the Italians, taken well by Di Natale, out towards the touchline on the right hand side. Plenty of support up with him though. One of them is De Rossi on the edge of the box, kills the pace off the ball, sets himself up on his right foot. It was curling, it was dipping, but not sufficiently of either, and it goes too high and wide.
Yeah, De Rossi stepped inside there. You know, he'd been playing in a centre half position early on this tournament. Now he's playing a little bit more advanced in midfield. He has got a lot of culture, he's got a lot of ability. When he gets into those positions, he can finish. But the one thing I've noticed about the Irish in this tournament as well, which has been a little bit disappointing, it's been crosses into the box that they haven't dealt with too well, you know. And it's not so much the ones that is going into the middle of the goal, it's the one that's been overhit to the far post. They haven't been dealing with those too well, and that has been the key factor. The Irish have letting goals from crossing positions.
As things stand in Group C, Italy are going through as group leaders, and they will play the runners-up from the England group. Spain going through in second place at the moment. If it finishes like this, should England top their group, it would be England against Spain in the quarter-final. But a long way to go between now and then. 0-0 with 51 minutes played between Croatia and Spain at the moment. And both second halves also kicked off exactly the same time. There wasn't a gap between them. Here, Cassano's goal has got Italy in front. It's the only goal of the night. Free kick to the Republic of Ireland, close to the halfway line. Ward takes it forward, looking for Richard Dunn on the right hand side of the penalty area. Chiellini commandingly beats him in the air. Dunn has picked up a knock, has to pick himself up off the ground as McKeady recovers possession for the Republic of Ireland. Good cross in towards the back post. Robbie Keane wins it. Downward header comes off Abate, and that's been put out for a corner. The first corner for the Irish in the second half, and Richard Dunn claps his hands to drum up the support of the Irish fans to that corner.
Without a doubt, and again it's McGeady. McGeady has been the Irish player tonight that's been able to carry the ball forward. Anytime he's got in wide positions, he's put really good balls into the box, and he has been the main man.
Oh, Richard Dunn's going to get spoken to here. I just spotted that out in the corner of my eye. He pushed Barzagli, who was hustling him and getting close and holding his jersey, and Richard Dunn did quite a firm push to move the defender away. The referee spot that, and it's going to be nothing but a talking to. But to be fair, I think Richard Dunn was overstating his case. Duff sets the ball for the corner kick. Short run up left hand side. Decent delivery into the... Dunn gets his head to it. Can't get the accuracy though. It's wide.
It was a good ball in by Damien Duff there. Richard Dunn attacks it so well, right in the middle of the box, right on the penalty spot. It just would have been nice if one of the centre forwards or one of the attacking players could have peeled off to that far post. They might have had a tap in there.
Well, if nothing happens here through to 90 minutes, Croatia will need something to happen in Gdansk, otherwise they're out. Juliet Farrington.
And they're still searching for a goal as well. It's still Croatia 0, Spain 0. This game though really needs to kick into life. Spain are controlling, just not as sharp as we're used to seeing them. No changes made, but you feel Croatia need to put a little bit more power into their attacking force. It's Croatia 0, Spain 0.
Thanks very much, Juliet. Here in Poznan, Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0. And we've played 8.5 minutes in the second half. Nicely controlled by Barzagli, his 30th cap for his country. Very much a controlling and composed central defender. Did very well for Juventus this season as they won Serie A. Look at this from Motta. That was very much his Brazilian genes. Flicking in the ball for Cassano. Now into the penalty area goes Di Natale, and the shot is saved by Given, diving down to his right hand side. That was much better from Italy.
It was a really good attack there down that left-hand side, but I think he might have been able to pull it back into the box. I think Shea Given was quite happy that he took the shot on from the angle because he could see it coming straight at him. It's gone in his near post, and realistically Shea Given's not going to get beat there.
Motta into the penalty area. Di Natale keeps his feet despite a prod from behind by Richard Dunn, and eventually Glenn Whelan hoofs the ball clear as far as he can. Barzagli has got Robbie Keane under grips. Ireland fans felt Robbie Keane might have been fouled there. Play on, says the referee. Abate gives it back into Barzagli, and Robbie Keane here trying to close down everything here. He's run right across the entire back four trying to close it down. Of course, there's been talk, could this be Robbie Keane's final international appearance? He wants to leave it all out there on the field on tonight. His 120th cap for his country. He's only 31 years of age. It may not be his final game, but certainly that's the kind of language that's been used about him and Richard Dunn and Shea Given this week.
Yeah, I spoke about it in the first half there. I just think that, you know, with the Irish there's so much talk, and within the Irish media, when a player hits about 28, 29, the question's constantly being asked of them after every major tournament: are you retiring? Is this your last tournament? But Richard Dunn and Robbie Keane, they're both still young enough to carry on. They both bring a wealth of experience to the squad. So does Damien Duff, Shay Given. I feel as though those four players do still have a lot to offer. Now, you can integrate the younger players in and around them, and that would help the younger players no end, just by being around those top quality players who have been around the country and have got so many caps. And they could be key for bringing on these young players and help them interact with the other players in the squad, because sometimes it does get difficult when you come in. You become quiet and become very much introverted, and you can't get your views across.
That's the voice of Kevin Kilban, who's played alongside Robbie Keane so many times for the Republic of Ireland. Break and play here. Chiellini has picked up an injury, and the Italians won't be pleased to see that. I think he's going to have to be replaced, and Chiellini is going to go off now, being helped by a physio, and Leonardo Bonucci, another Juventus player, will come on in his place. So Chiellini is off, and Bonucci presumably will partner Barzagli in the heart of the Italian defence. Now, the one thing I'd say about Robbie Keane, given that he plays his club football in the States with LA Galaxy, David Beckham would have definitely kept on playing for England as long as anyone would have allowed him. And I wonder if Keane is the same. Given that he plays that slightly lower level of football in the MLS, would he like to keep in touch with the top level of the game, if you like, at international level as long as he can? But it's a discussion for after this one. Here in Poznan, Italy leading 1-0. Ireland heading for 3 defeats out of 3. And bottom of Group C and heading home on the flight tomorrow regardless. Even if they win this one 10-0 tonight, they're going home tomorrow. But so far tonight, Kevin, has any pride been restored, do you think?
There was a little bit in the initial part of the first half, but I think that they've allowed the Italians a little bit too much possession in the latter stages of that first half. And I think even at the start of the second half here, the Italians are getting on the ball. They're starting to enjoy possession. But one thing I would say there about Bonucci coming on, the Italians are very inexperienced at the back, and without Chiellini,
Marchisio goes for a shot. Sorry, Kevin, he just got his foot wrapped around it there. It's gone well wide of Shay Given's post. Sorry.
Yeah, I say without Chiellini, who's the only Italian defender with 50 plus caps, they're a very inexperienced backline, so they would want him to play, and without him they're a different animal, certainly in defence. So could be a key factor for the Irish getting back in here.
Yeah, I think tonight won't be too much of a concern, you'd imagine, for Prandelli, the coach, but he won't want to be without Chiellini, his captain, for the rest of the tournament, which could be about to go a long way, because at the moment Italy are top of Group C, and they'd have taken that at the start. I'll tell you, the same group as Spain, reigning world and European champions. As things stand, with Spain being held to a 0-0 draw by Croatia, and with Italy leading Republic of Ireland 1-0 here, as things stand, Italy are going through as group leaders.
Yeah, and they were probably in the unusual position at the start of the tournament of not being favourites for the group. Many eyes probably writing them off a little bit. I certainly didn't give them enough respect, or as much respect as I've given them over the years. I felt as though that they might have been a team that the Irish could have targeted. So, the Spanish are obvious favourites, but I think the Italians have done really well in the group stages here.
Don't forget, tomorrow, England against Ukraine, 7:45 UK time. All the build up to that one as well. Let's pop back to Gdansk, the latest from Croatia against Spain. Juliette Farrington.
It's still Croatia 0, Spain 0, but oh so close for Croatia. Modric breaking away on the right, cross the ball in. Rakovic right in front of goal, forcing Casillas to make his first save of the night. Real danger signs for Spain. If Croatia score, Spain could be going out. It's Croatia 0, Spain 0.
Yes, at the moment, if Croatia were to take the lead in that game, they would go up to the top of the group. Italy would be in second place, and Spain would be joining the Republic of Ireland as the two teams going out. I'm just wondering, from an Irish point of view, Kevin, the fact Croatia seem to be doing such a good job against Spain tonight, because they did well against Italy, does it lessen the blow of how well they did against the Irish? They're clearly a good team. More of that in a moment. Here comes Ireland. Andrews with a shot. He was a long way out, bounced in front of Buffon. Buffon made the save. Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah, no, I think he had to take the shot on there without a doubt. But going back to the Spain issue, I mean, we couldn't help but purr over how well the Spanish played. There were such wonderful players on the night. I've raved about Iniesta since I've seen his performance that night. But looking at the Italians, the way they played, I felt that they nullified the Spanish in that game, and the Croatians might have a set way. They might have a real difficult way, or find a difficult way that they can play to stop the Spanish as well. So, I mean, I think the way it's going right now, the Spanish are struggling.
Yeah. Here come the Italians, who are certainly not struggling here in Poznan tonight. And Thiago Motta might have a problem. He's picked up a knock. He's gone to ground, and the referee just kind of jogged past him, had a look, doesn't feel it's anything too serious, and he's happy for play to continue. Well, The Republic of Ireland have probably played their best football of the tournament tonight as opposed to the previous two games. That said, Kevin, with the early chance for Doyle, we've had that shot from distance from Keith Andrews. They've not troubled the goalkeeper, and this has been their best performance.
No, that's true. That has been the key factor, I think, for the Irish. They haven't really troubled the opposition's goalkeepers. But the pleasing thing about tonight is that they've managed to stay in the game in the early part of the game. I know the Italians will be very, very confident and very comfortable now with them being in the lead, but they've been a lot better than what they have been in the first two games.
Balzaretti attacks down the left for Italy. He's done well against John O'Shea in the corner, and then he's won a free kick. The referee says that John O'Shea has pulled him back. Both players ended up on the ground. They try to get back to their feet, and the referee says that John O'Shea has pulled Federico Balzaretti, and that's going to be a free kick to Italy down by the corner flag on the left hand side. Back to Gdansk, Juliet Farrington.
Where Spain have made the first change of the night. Still Croatia 0, Spain 0, but they've taken off Fernando Torres. They've brought Navas on as they look to try and break these Croatians down. Croatia, who almost took the lead through Rakovic, only for Casillas to deny him and Croatia their goal scoring opportunity. Croatia 0, Spain 0.
Thanks, Juliet. Free kick to Italy here in Poznan. Left hand side as Italy come forward. Close to the byline. Pirlo sends it in deep towards the back post, where Glenn Whelan puts in a good challenge in the air on Di Natale. But the ball came off the Italian, and that will be a goal kick to the Republic of Ireland. We're also going to have another change here, and it's a second substitution of the evening for Italy, and fans of West Ham United will be interested to hear this, because Alessandro Diamanti, the man who Gianfranco Zola brought to Upton Park, and he scored a few goals for West Ham, he is coming on here at the European Championships for Italy, and he's replacing the goal scorer Antonio Cassano.
Cassano's played a real key part tonight for the Italians. I think he's played very, very well, and not just tonight but through the tournament. So they might see this as game done. It might be game over for the Irish tonight, but the Irish are still in it at 1-0. Can they get themselves back in it in the latter stages of this game?
It's only his second cap for Diamante, and his first competitive one. And he is now on. Looks like he's going to play in the hole in behind Di Natale, but we'll see how that develops. Here comes Thiago Motta for Italy. Ball over the top. Di Natale's in an offside position, and that's going to be a free kick to the Republic of Ireland. Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0 here in Poznan. 5 live from the BBC. At the moment, Italy and Spain are going through from this group, but that can change dramatically. Should there be an Irish goal here, or should there be a goal for Spain or for Croatia in Gdansk? And if there is, we'll hear about it straight away first here on 5 Live. Ireland are preparing a change, and Shane Long is preparing to come on.
Yeah, that could be just a straight swap for Kevin Doyle. I mean, I think that's the way that Giovanni Trapattoni has done when he's made his change and brought Shane Long on. He just changed him for Kevin Doyle, who I felt tonight, certainly in the early parts, he did himself a lot of justice like he did against Croatia.
Yeah, don't think Kevin Doyle did much wrong against Croatia, but he was then left out of the starting 11, the only change for the match against Spain, and he wasn't brought on as a sub in that game, but restored to Giovanni Trapattoni's lineup tonight, and we'll see if he's going to stay on the field. Perhaps it'll be Robbie Keane who goes off. Here's another chance for Ireland, but only a half one. Andrews storming forward, takes a shot which is very well blocked, you've got to say, by Daniele De Rossi. He threw his body on the line there to make that tackle. Andrews will have felt the brunt of it, but it deflected out, and Damien Duff will have another corner on the left hand side, and the Irish fans continue to sing and cheer on their players. And if nothing else, regardless of the team here and regardless of the standing in the group, I think these Irish fans probably deserve another goal. They've only had one goal to cheer about so far.
I think we'd all want to see that, wouldn't we? And I think Keith Andrews there, he did so well to dispossess Pirlo. Keith Andrews has probably been the real bright spot from this tournament for the Irish.
Well, Aidan McGeady is the man who's coming off. Now, this is interesting in a few regards. First of all, it means 3 recognised strikers on the field: Long, Doyle and Keane. But it's funny, Kevin, we thought McGeady was arguably Ireland's best player in the game so far. He's not happy. He's thrown his tracksuit top towards the feet of Trapattoni. He's not happy as McGeady going off. Here comes the corner into the penalty area. Stephen Ward threw himself at it, couldn't get a clean connection. Italy get it out of the penalty area. Ireland still have the ball though. Richard Dunn in an attacking position, can't control it, and Thiago Motta just pops it over the top. Di Natale, you could see what he was trying to do there. He wanted to slip it in for Diamante. It was a lovely effort, but intercepted, and Ireland get it back, with Shea given away to our left hand side. 65 minutes on the clock. 1-0 to Italy here in Poznan. 0-0 between Spain and Croatia in Gdansk. At the moment, Italy and Spain going through. They're both on 5 points, as are Croatia, but they've got a better head-to-head. Here comes the ball into the penalty area, and it's saved by Shea Given, the shot from Diamante.
It looks as though he's put Kevin Doyle onto the right wing, and he's just going with two up front with Robbie Keane and Shane Long, and I think that just takes away from Kevin Doyle's game. I think he's not used to playing on that right-hand side position, and I think you'd be as well keeping him through the middle, keeping him through the heart of the Italian defence, because he can cause problems and he's very, very difficult player to play against.
Ireland come forward down the other end. Shane Long's first real part of the game since coming on as a sub, and he's won a corner on the right hand side. Damien Duff comes across to take. Standing ovation from the fans of this near corner as well. These Ireland fans who've taken over entire town centres here in Poland this month, swinging out of fountains, singing their songs. Here comes the cross from Duff into the centre, well headed away by Bonucci, and then put back into the mix by Glenn Whelan. Done a straight forward in an offside position, and it's held in the air by Gianluigi Buffon.
The Ireland don't need to lose the discipline here as well. They're really going for it on their set plays. They've got 7 and 8 players attacking the ball. They're leaving themselves a little bit short in the back, and that will allow the Italians to exploit the little holes that the Irish are leaving at the back. So they need to really keep the discipline. Don't get too disjointed. Stay at 1-0, and then they may get a set play or they may get a goal on the break.
1-0 it remains. That night in Portugal in 2004, when myself and John Murray were commentating, and Italy went out despite losing the game. I remember that was very cagey right till the end as well. Bulgaria had a penalty. I remember Cassano scored the very late one. So I'm sure in Italy hands will be clasped in fervent prayer. They'll have the rosary beads out at this stage. The things stay the same. Marchisio comes forward here for Italy. Diamante goes down in a heap on the edge of the penalty area, and that's going to be a free kick awarded to the former West Ham man, and this certainly is Pirlo territory now on the edge of the box. Yeah, we've seen Pirlo against the Croatians in the last game from this exact same position. He can put them in the top corner, he can put them in the bottom corner. He's got wonderful ability, and yeah, I think John O'Shea just maybe. I tell you what, there is, as our esteemed colleague Graham Taylor would say, no doubt about it that John O'Shea went through Diamante there, and that is blatant a challenge, as you'll see in international football. John, he just threw himself at Diamante, who did score 8 goals for West Ham during his time at Upton Park. 4 of them were penalties. He's lurking around this free kick, but it's got to be Pirlo, doesn't it? As Shea Given crouches down at the near post to make sure the wall is covering the angles, then walks across to the other side. Pirlo is normally very good at these. Here he comes, right footed. Oh, it's a false start. He's going to reset himself. 1 or 2 Italian players trying to make a trouble of themselves in the wall. Pirlo, too high. Just over the crossbar. Yeah, very good Irish wall there as well. They were edging forward just a little inch at a time, just to try and lessen that chance of Pirlo being able to get it up and down the wall. It was a very tall Irish wall, and it was difficult for him to get it up and down. Group C remains very, very tight. There could be twists and turns in the next 20 minutes, and John Murray will talk you through them here on 5 Live.
Yes, it is very finely poised, and Italy coming forward with Abate down the right hand side into the Irish full-back position, but across comes the challenge to block it away from Ward. Damien Duff, though, is forced back into that area, and Ward now has to clear towards the halfway line. Italy come again, and Diamante almost spun himself into the ground. Gives it out to the right hand side. Abate's cross to the near post. Ireland struggling to clear it, but they do. They get it away through Whelan near the penalty spot. Landed at his feet, and he half volleyed it away. 1-0 Italy lead here on 5 Live. It's still 0-0 in Gdansk between Spain and Croatia. But the reason I say that it's finely poised is that it is entirely possible, Kevin, that this narrow Italian win might not be enough for them. Because if that game were to go to 1-1 between Spain and Croatia, then a 1-0 win would not be enough for Italy. So, OK, we're a couple of goals away from that scenario, but it is only a couple of goals.
Well, I know we'd spoken about it yesterday, how tight this group is and how finely poised it is, and there are so many things that could happen, and indeed it looks like it is happening now, you know, and so I think all eyes are on this Italian team. Can they get that second goal and make it safe for themselves? But there'll be things happening elsewhere that can make it very, very difficult for them.
Yeah, they'll be watching this in Italy, and it's going to be a yellow card for Daniele De Rossi.
Yeah, I didn't think De Rossi there. It was a bit difficult for him because Kevin Doyle cut across him. He was in full stride and he just couldn't stop himself. So Kevin Doyle, it was good play by him, really good interchange with Shane Long as well. And once he gets away, Kevin Doyle still has that pace that he can get away from defenders, and there was nothing at all that the Italian defence could do about that.
So an Irish free kick, about 15 yards, maybe a little bit more than that, inside the Italian half on this right hand side. In this second period, Ireland are attacking towards this 3-tier stand to our right, which is adorned in just about every spare place by the Irish tricolour. Whelan strikes the free kick high into the Italian area. It's headed down, only partly away. Comes out to Duff. Duff twists, just slips, but manages to get back to his feet, and then is fouled. Fury there by Motta. It was Motta who was adjudged to have just had the touch on Damien Duff that led to the free kick. And if it hadn't been a free kick, then Italy could have been away on the counter-attack there. But it's an Irish set piece on the left, Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah, it did look a foul, it certainly did. And I think that's why Motta was disappointed, because if they had won that ball, there was 4 Italian players that were just breaking his pace, and there was only 1 Irish defender back at that incident. So that could have been a real testing moment for the Irish.
Got less than 20 minutes of these Group C games to go here at Euro 2012. And the next goal in these 2 games, wherever it is, would set the cat among the pigeons, let's put it that way. Duff with the free kick on the left for Ireland. Here it goes towards Dunn, who under pressure actually headed it back out of the penalty area. He got up with Balzaretti. Ireland take possession once again. There's an Italian down, claiming that he's got a head injury. It's De Rossi, and the referee has blown the whistle. Well, and Pirlo was running away with the ball towards the halfway line. So De Rossi, who is perfectly okay, might have interrupted his own team's progress with that, with the way that he reacted to that foul.
It was. Pirlo was so disappointed because Di Natale was away, wasn't he?
Let's see if there's likely to be any sign of a goal in Gdansk, as Buffon is shown a yellow card for speaking out of turn to the referee here. But Juliet Farrington's watching in Gdansk.
Well, Croatia is still starting to ramp it up here. It's still Croatia 0, Spain 0, but Spain have just brought on Cesc Fabregas, replacing David Silva for these final few moments of this game tonight. Croatia, they've also made a double change as well. They brought on striker Nikica Jelavic, and Perisic has come on as well and getting himself into some really good positions as well. So danger for Spain, the signs are there, but they are desperate to find a goal as Fabregas tries to make an exciting move just outside the area. It hasn't worked. Croatia 0, Spain 0.
1-0 to Italy here. So the way that the scores are at the moment, it is Italy going through as group winners and Spain as runners-up. So it's entirely possible that it could be England against Italy in the quarter-final. This time tomorrow you'll be listening or watching to the England game. Balotelli has been called forward by Cesare Prandelli. So for the last 15 minutes, Mario Balotelli will be on the field, and he's going to replace Antonio Di Natale.
All the Italians are getting frustrated with the referee. They feel as though he's making a couple of wrong decisions here, but the Irish are starting to press in numbers now. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 players going at once. When one's in danger in the Italian defence, the Irish players are recognising it and going together, so they're hunting in the packs and pressing really well.
Irish corner, here it goes, aiming for Dunn, half-headed away. Doyle swings a leg at it, reaches Duff on the left-hand side, who took the corner. Duff returns it in, and the header is over the top of the bar from Long. Buffon was there as well, and I think the whistle went for a foul.
Yeah,
by Long.
He did, yeah. I think it was Richard Dunn coming over the back of Buffon there. It's a good ball to the far post by Damien Duff, and Long and Richard Dunn both challenging for it, but I think it was Richard Dunn that was fouling Buffon, and Buffon then can clear the danger.
So just to make it absolutely clear for you, Italy going through as group winners, Spain as runners-up. But it is very possible that a goal in Gdansk could knock out Spain over the course of the next 15 minutes or so. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. 5 Live for the commentary at the moment on this game here, the Italy Republic of Ireland game on 5 Live Sports Extra now from Gdansk. It's the Spain-Croatia game, which is level at 0-0. Ireland with the ball inside their own half. Duff, who's played almost exclusively on the left-hand side tonight. Ball played back towards Shea Given. Given's clearance headed forward by Abate for Italy. Then Marchisio with a touch, but the offside flag is up against Motta, who is furthest forward, and it's a free kick to Ireland halfway inside their own half. Another Irish change, Kevin. Jonathan Walters coming on. That'll be Trapattoni's second substitution.
Yeah, that's the one for Kevin Doyle. I thought that he would have made the last time around, certainly taking in McGeady. I think he's had a really good game this evening, but I think the Irish are starting to assert themselves right now. I think they're playing with real intensity. Now John Walters could give them a different option up front. With the Irish going a little bit longer, the Italians don't like it, the high ball into the box.
Long ball forward, immediately aiming for Walters, who challenges Bonucci for it. Cleared away by Balzaretti. John Walters on the field. He's come on as a substitute in all 3 games here at Euro 2012. Just another little point, by the way, should it turn out to be England against Italy, I didn't think the injury to Chiellini looked too clever. I'm wondering, how serious that could be. And on the evidence of what we've seen, you would think that he would struggle to be fit for the quarter-final, Chiellini.
Yeah, without a doubt. Chiellini is the key defender for Italy. I mean, I mentioned before that there's not a lot of experience within that back line.
So it's Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0 here in Poznan. And as it stands, it is Italy going through as group winners and Spain as runners-up. But it could all change in the next 15 minutes. It's just like that, Kevin. That's how it changes. We switch as if by magic from 5 Live to Sky. It's amazing how they do it, isn't it? Ireland have got a free kick here. It's just outside the D, just slightly left of centre. The Italians protesting about it. Some nerves out there now. They are only too well aware of the fact that they must win this game, Italy, to stand a chance of going through. If they fail to win, they'll go out. They could, just as in Portugal 8 years ago, the Italians could head home unbeaten in the group. Free kick then, that Ireland have.
Ireland beat Italy last year in this very same position. Keith Andrews scoring the free kick, so I think the Irish will be hoping it's a bit of deja vu here.
Good knowledge, Kevin. That's why we've got you here. Andrews is looking perhaps for a little tap by Duff. Whelan just standing to the left of the ball. Whelan can hit a free kick as well, of course. The wall is being marched out. The Italians encroaching there. That does not look like 10 yards. Referee is spotting it. It's tapped by Duff. Shot from Andrews, saved by Buffon. Really good save from the Italian goalkeeper. That was hit hard and low, and Buffon got down with Irishman bearing down on him and pushed it away, and Italy cleared. Long heads it back into the area. Walters is there, knotted down by Bonucci, and now Diamanti is back in there. Diamanti with his extraordinary hair scurries away to the left hand side and clears it out of play over the top of Prandelli in his coaching area. Throw in taken quickly. Ireland get it back in play. Their supporters here, Kevin, can sense that the Italians could be vulnerable in this position with the nerves and everything playing on their minds.
Yeah, without a doubt, they need that second goal really to kill this game off. And I mentioned before, the Irish are just getting back into this match. The last 5 or 10 minutes, they're starting to assert themselves. They're having a few chances. It was a really good strike there by Keith Andrews, and fortunately for Buffon, the ball just fell straight into the middle of the goal, and all the Irish players were attacking it from the wings.
Only 1 goal tonight so far in these 2 final Group C matches. 0-0 in Gdansk, 1-0 here in Poznan to Italy. Cross from the left-hand side for Ireland. Headed down by Long, but he ran into Diamanti, glanced it, and the assistant's flag is up. In any case, Robbie Keane is questioning him. He's saying, was that me offside? Well, it's a free kick to Italy inside their own box.
Yeah, I think once the header went in there by Walters, Robbie Keane actually looked onside. There was a defender at the very far side of the pitch that looked like he was playing him on, but it wasn't given, and the linesman saw it a different way. But we're just looking again that Keith Andrews strikes the ball so well from 25 yards. He hits it really crisp, and Booth, unfortunately, it just broke straight through the middle, where saying it just broke away from the Irish players attacking it.
Just watching Balotelli there challenging Richard Dunn. He did swing an arm, Balotelli, and I think Richard Dunn was less than impressed. First time he's been involved in the action. So he is fit, we know that now. He did injure a knee, Balotelli, in training this week in the build-up to this game. But Prandelli went with Di Natale and Cassano up front to start the match. Cassano scored the goal in the first half with a header from a PLO corner. But Balotelli and Diamanti are now on the field for Italy. Free kick goes against Ireland.
I'm not too sure that was. Challenge? John Walters just gone up and
just an arm, wasn't it?
I mean, I think he's just using his arm for leverage there, and he's just jumped into jumps into the defender.
Balzaretti.
Balzaretti. I think. And again, you know, we seen in the first half when he got clattered in the face, he runs to the referee, showing him a little bit of blood, and managed to draw the yellow card then for John O'Shea. So he's not endeared himself to me tonight, Balzaretti. No. I don't know about you. No, me too. Just with his reactions, every time there's a bit of contact in and around him, that could have been a foul, it could have been construed as a foul, but every time there's sort of contact, he runs straight to the referee to tell him, or even the linesman to tell him, look, I've had the contact, and goes down in all sorts of shapes and sizes, doesn't he? Yep. Less than 10 minutes to go. Italy 1, Republic of Ireland 0. We're on 5 Live Sports Extra now with this game, and Pirlo's lost possession. It's been won back superbly. Walters now plays it through to Keane, who was the man who won it back from Pirlo. Keane now to the left-hand side, but sliced his cross, and he's so angry with himself for doing that, Robbie Keane, and there was a loose ball just off the pitch there, and he backheels it away in frustration next to those huge advertising hoardings with all of the photographers sitting behind them. Yeah, once John Walters had won possession there, you know, you're only 20 yards out, take your chances. You know, Buffon's in good form tonight, he has made a couple of decent saves, but take your chances. You don't get too many opportunities against the Italian defence. If you're in those positions, have a shot, and, you know, who knows what can happen. It's close, isn't it? Not just the game, in terms of the atmosphere. So 1-0 Italy lead here on 5 Live Sports Extra, and Ward for Ireland over the top. This is for Keane to chase, but Buffon is out to the edge of the area to take that ball into his midriff. And that's where the Irish are starting to maybe go a little bit longer, and I felt as though that tactic might have been used a little bit more against Spain, just to put the Spanish under pressure, and the Croatians. They're using it a bit tonight, playing to the strength a little bit, you know, high pressured football, getting it high up the pitch, and when they do get higher up, that's when they can play the stuff. Lovely move from Italy there, started by De Rossi on the edge of his own penalty area, but Diamanti won a free kick running between Whelan and Duff, just went down when he felt the contact, and it's a free kick to the Italians 10 yards inside the Irish half. Italy winning 1-0 against Ireland here, still 0-0 between Spain and Croatia, so Italy going through as group winners and Spain as runners up. Teams that go through in this group will play the teams that go through in England's group tomorrow night. Here's Balotelli now, 25 yards out. Balotelli takes it on, goes past his man, he's on his left foot, got it caught up underneath his feet, then goes down and wins the free kick. And I thought he went down there very late after the challenge, but he's got the free kick, and the referee, well, several Irish players are waving their arms in anger and frustration, and I'm just wondering whether the referee's going to call one of them forward. It's St Ledger who's yellow carded. It was St Ledger whose contact led to the free kick. I think he's actually booked the wrong man there, because he glided past St Ledger earlier on in the run, and then I think it might have even been Richard Dunn that's brought him down, you know, or even Keith Andrews. It was Keith Andrews brought him down, and he's booked Sean St Ledger. I think it might be for something that St Ledger said. Yeah, possibly right. But he did, you know, Balotelli threw himself to the ground there. There was the contact from Andrews. It probably was a foul, but it was exaggerated by Balotelli. Yeah, again, it's, you know, we spoke before about Balzaretti's reaction to every sort of foul that comes his way. Balotelli did it a little bit there, but I was impressed with Balotelli there. He took the ball on the half turn, he drove at the Irish defence, he bought the foul with his pace and power, and Balotelli at times when I've seen him, he doesn't really show that enough, so he has got it in him, he is quality, but he needs to show that billing of being that world-class player that he's been spoken about more often. Free kick to Italy. Remember Pirlo scoring with the free kick in their previous game against Croatia. That was from the left side. This is from the right side. So Diamanti has a possibility with his left foot, but Pirlo still stands to the left of the ball. Both of them 4 yards away at an angle. And the referee is actually calling them to bring the ball forward. The Italians moved it back. And Pirlo's angry about this. Now he's saying, well, you've moved the ball forward, so the Irish wall is not 10 yards away. Pirlo still waits. 2 Italians standing in front of the wall. It's Diamanti who hits the top of the wall with the free kick, and it rebounds out to De Rossi, forward of the centre circle. De Rossi now chips it out towards the left-hand side. Balotelli is there, might have struck an Irish arm. O'Shea, Balotelli plays it back, then the shot is blasted over the top by Bonucci for a goal kick to Ireland. It's 1-0 Italy. Yeah, I think that might have been a bit lucky there from John O'Shea. Balotelli brought it down his chest. I think it might have been handball there as he's gone into the box, and I think he did get a bit lucky there, John O'Shea, because it was in the box, and that could have been a penalty to Italy.
Robbie Keane is being substituted. Simon Cox comes on. And if Robbie Keane does decide that that is it for his international future, and we don't know if that is the case, then that will be 120 and out for Robbie Keane. What a brilliant servant. 53 goals for the Republic of Ireland, which is by a country mile the national record. Forward for Ireland, Dunn hits the pass, but Walters in an offside position and a free kick to Italy in front of their own penalty area. Just in case, Kevin, a couple of words on Robbie Keane.
Yeah, Robbie Keane, I mean, I spoke before, I genuinely hope he does continue, because I think he can help the younger players coming into the squad. But to score over 50 international goals, so much has been said over the years about, Gary Lineker on 49, and 48, Bobby Charlton 49. No other player within the British Isles has scored over 50 goals. It's a wonderful achievement, because over the years the Irish team have won games 1-0, and invariably it's been Robbie Keane. He's not had a lot of chances, and I'm sure that his chance conversion to goals is phenomenal, and his record for Ireland is brilliant, but his overall game as well. I was in the squad when he first came in as a 17-year-old, and he was a wonderful player when he back in the Wolves days, and he's had some big clubs on his CV. But Robbie, in fairness to him, has had a great career, and he's proved what a great player he is.
Yes, not least Inter in Italy. 1-0 Italy lead with just over 3 minutes of the 90 to play. And at the moment, this 1-0 win is taking Italy through as group winners, with Spain as runners-up. Trapattoni stands with his hand on his chin on the edge of the coaching area. Prandelli, the Italian coach, or the coach of the Italian side, they're both Italian coaches, stands 30 yards to his left. Prandelli played for Trapattoni at Juventus. Indeed, they were both involved in the European Cup final, the Heysel European Cup final, when Trapattoni was the coach and Prandelli was a player. He says he learnt so much from him. Well, tonight Prandelli is winning 1-0 against Trapattoni's Ireland, and here's Balotelli now into the penalty area. Balotelli shrugs off one challenge, shoots when he might have passed, and it's straight at Shea Given, who scoops it up like a back pass. Yeah,
I think Balotelli should have gone his left side there, maybe a bit more positive, gone straight at Keith Andrews. He was one-on-one in the position there. He might have gone on his left side and just drawn the shot, but as he's come inside, he maybe should have passed it off and then looked for another angle. But typical Balotelli, he wants the glory. He's that sort of player.
There has been another goal in Group C, and it's been scored by Spain. Jesus Navas has put Spain 1-0 up on Croatia, and that changes the position. It's still Spain and Italy going through, but now Spain will go through as group winners and Italy as runners-up. So now the odds would suggest that it will be Spain-England in the quarterfinals if England go through as group runners-up tomorrow night. So Spain get the goal, it comes late, and we now are a goal closer to that scenario that I suggested a little earlier. We're one goal away from the possibility that Italy will go out. Now, there is a red card here. Ireland are down to 10 men. Keith Andrews has been shown a second yellow card, and Ireland are down to 10 men for the remainder of this game. And Andrews, as he walked off the field, there was a loose ball there, and he's blasted it into the crowd.
Yeah, I didn't even see what had happened. He's got a red card there. I didn't really know what had happened, is it? So, Keith Andrews had a decent tournament for Ireland, and his frustrations got the better of him when he has been sent off and booted a ball high into the arena here in Poznan.
So Italy playing against 10 men for the remainder. Balotelli shoots from distance, it takes a deflection, and that loops it over the top of Shea Given's crossbar for a corner to Italy. It might be that Italy need to win this game by a couple of goals. 1-0 to Spain in Gdansk, 1-0 to Italy here. Corner from the right hand side for the Italians. Diamanti to take it in towards the near post. Balotelli hooks it in. Brilliant finish from him. Hooked it over his own shoulder into the back of the Irish net, and Italy lead by 2-0, and that could seal their place in the quarterfinals.
That was a wonderful finish by Balotelli. Again, though, from the Irish point of view, it's really bad defending, but there's a great ball into the box. Balotelli, I think, he shrugged off John O'Shea. It was great technique, a wonderful overhead, come scissors kick, brilliant finish. Shea given absolutely no chance, but full credit to Balotelli. It was a wonderful goal and brilliant technique.
So We're in added time now. Added time. Italy leading by 2-0. But still, they could potentially be in peril here, Italy. Because if it does finish 1-1 in Spain-Croatia, it's currently 1-0 to Spain. If that game finishes 1-1 and Italy have only won 2-0, then it would be Spain and Croatia who would go through. Italy would have to win by a 3-goal margin if it were to finish 1-1 between Spain and Croatia. Italy have a corner. They're going for the third goal. Pirlo takes it in. A near post flick takes it right across beyond the far post and wide for a goal kick. So at the moment, Italy are going through, but another goal in Gdansk, a Croatia goal in Gdansk, could yet put them out.
Yeah, we've spoken about this so many times. There's so many things that can happen in this group, and you know, I think we're all lost as to what's going to happen. I think you, John, you've kept us informed how to work all these groups out, the permutations, what can happen. So, you know, if a Croatia goal goes in now, that could kill Italy's chances off.
I mean, it would be. We could have some extraordinary scenes here where Italy to win 2-0 and yet go out unbeaten with a win and 2 draws in their group. So Spain at the moment going through as group winners, as Long plays it now to the edge of the area to Cox, and now Duff could be in here on his 100th cap. Turns though, gives it back to Cox on the edge of the penalty area. Now Duff in the Italian right back position. Apati fouls him. Went for the ball, got the man, free kick to Ireland on the left.
Yeah, Damien Duff bought that foul a little bit there, but again, it was good positive play by the Irish. I think, you know, someone might think this might be game over for them here, but as Beatty brought Duff down, now it's a chance for the Irish just to get forward and try and restore a little bit of pride, because I can't see them scoring 3 goals. I certainly can't see them scoring 2 goals, so they can get one back and maybe restore a little bit of pride.
The Italians can't celebrate yet. They cannot celebrate yet. The Spaniards in Gdansk now look very, very likely to go through, leading 1-0. You know, their supporters, the Spaniards, might well be doing the salsa or whatever sort of celebration that they can find there, but the Italians can't celebrate yet. Here now comes Balotelli, bearing down on the Irish goal. Balotelli still going and shoots wide under pressure as the challenge came in on him, and the deflection as well, after Dunn made himself big there in front of Balotelli, which isn't difficult for him to do, and put it out for a corner.
Yeah, Bonucci as well, the centre-half, had made a wonderful run into the box, and Balotelli just didn't see him. I think if he'd have played the ball in early, it would have been a simple tapping for him to score that third goal that could have just killed any hope of Croatia.
Corner, played in. Diamanti with a shot, but it's blocked by O'Shea on the edge of the 6-yard box and wide for another corner. The Italians are on the edge of their seats here, Kevin.
Yeah, they need this third goal. This is what they all want, and then that puts it all to bed for them.
Yeah, here it comes, the corner. Now, just a touch from Richard Dunn, otherwise it would have fallen to Balotelli, and the referee says it's all over. It's all over here in Poznan. Italy have won by 2-0, but they've got to wait and find out if it is enough to see them through to the quarter-finals. For Ireland, though, it's 3 games played, 3 defeats at Euro 2012. Kevin Kilbane.
Yeah, it's been a real disappointment for the Irish here at this European Championships. You know, I think the supporters have carried themselves with such dignity around the towns. They've sung their hearts out. They've been brilliant for the Irish players, and I think now the Irish players will probably see them showing the respect to the Irish supporters, and I think they'll go off with the pride. Really hurt from a disappointing tournament, you have to say that.
Yes, I'm not sure Roy Keane will like the sight of this. A couple of the Irish officials have unfurled a big Irish tricolour on the ground in front of the Irish dugout, which says, "Thank you, best supporters in the world," and they're singing their songs all around Poznan now. They are ignoring what Roy Keane said. They want to show their appreciation to the team, to the players, even though Ireland are going home without a win, without a point.
Yeah, I mean, the Fields of Athenry, such a famous song with the Irish supporters being belted out around the stadium here. And I think that the Irish players over the years...
Oh, that's it. It must be over in Gdansk, because the Italians now celebrate. They've had word that Spain, I'm presuming have won by 1-0. And so the Italians know that they go through as group runners-up, and off they go now, running towards their supporters, who are waving their Italian tricolours in that corner over to our left, and they are now joyous and buoyant. Buffon comes. Buffon gives Cassano, the man who scored the first goal here this evening, an enormous hug, and the Italians now hugging and kissing one another. Their place in the quarter-finals is secure. Italy will go to Kiev next on Sunday to play the winners in England's group.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to have massive implications on that English group now. Can England win the group? Can they avoid the Spanish? Because I think if they play against Spain, I think they'll get beat, but they'll really fancy the chances against the Italians, who are a good team. I've been impressed with them through these European Championships, but I think they'll fancy the chances more against the Italians than against the Spanish.
Yes, you know, what would you say about Italy? How far can they potentially go at this tournament?
I mean, I felt in the Spanish game they really stopped them playing, and they had a few attacks. They played well actually on the day, so they'll feel as though they've played against possibly the best team in the tournament. So why can't they go all the way? And maybe they were written off a little bit before the start of this tournament. People weren't expecting too much from the Italians, but they're out of the group. And in previous tournaments, when the Italians have been that surprise package, they've gone very, very far. And you know, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Italians in that final challenging one of the top teams for a place for the European Championships.
Well, classic football, classic sport, really. We've got one set of players and supporters who are celebrating, and we've got another set who are downcast and disappointed. But the Irish players, everyone in the squad, I'm fairly sure, has gone out there all around the stadium here, all around the pitch, to applaud the supporters, the Irish fans, who are still singing long and hard, as I'm sure they will if we get to the old Market Square this evening, in amongst the cobbles there. I'm sure it'll be a night where sorrows will be drowned, shall we say?
Yes, I'm sure that'll be the case. But I mean, I spoke about before about how much the Irish have a real affinity with the supporters. You know, over the years, we've been supported by so many supporters wherever we've been all over the world. They've been wonderful over here in Poland, and I think they've really carried the nation. I think so. Every nation that we've come up against, every nation that the Irish have faced, and all the supporters in Poland have really took to the Irish. Everyone recognises what true wonderful supporters they are, and we're seeing it from the Italians now, the appreciation for the Irish support.
I'm just watching Robbie Keane down there, who was substituted near the end, the captain of this squad, even though Damien Duff was captaining the team tonight, just waiting as all the players came off, and he shook hands with Shay Given. He shook hands with Damien Duff as well. And people will wonder now, people will ask the question, maybe we'll find out after the game this evening, will he continue? Will Shay Given continue? Will Duff continue? What do you think, Kevin?
I mean, I've spoken about it. I really hope they do, but I can't see all four carrying on. I think there's probably going to be a decision made in their personal life as to what they're going to do. They'll probably go away. I wouldn't be too hasty if I was them on making that decision. I'd go away, have a think about it through the summer, and then I'd come back possibly with my club, and then I'd be then making the decision as to what I'm going to do. So I'm saying all four of those have been wonderful servants, and I just hope they can continue to try and help the new breed of players coming through.
So the players now disappear down the tunnel, and still the two sets of supporters who've mingled really well here this evening, and that's been the case all the way through this tournament. I mean, we've been together in Gdansk and here in Poznan. I was there to see the Spanish supporters, and the atmosphere between the two sets of supporters was terrific there when the Spanish were there in great numbers. Not so much the case with the Italians, but very often the Italians are too cool for school, aren't they? But I think they'll enjoy their night in Poznan this evening.
Yeah, I mean, we'd seen so many Irish shirts knocking around Poznan and Gdansk, and when we've come back down to Poznan from Gdansk, we haven't seen too many Italian shirts. They're saying they're too cool for school in the designer gear, the designer clothes. They've not wanted to maybe wear the royal blue of Italy. So, you know, I speak about the Irish, but I think the Croatians have carried themselves with real dignity when we've seen them as well down in Poznan early on. Two real good sets of supporters with not an ounce of trouble between them. So them two are both going home, and they've both added to the tournament and brought real colour to it.
Well, Kevin, you're heading off home with the Irish, if you like. You're on the way in the morning, so this will be the last we hear from you on 5 Live or Sports Extra. But if we look at it now, we've got first quarter-final, Czech Republic against Portugal. On Friday, Greece against Germany. On Saturday, Spain will play in Donetsk as Group C winners, and Italy will play in Kiev on Sunday. We'll have to find out who they play. But in a word, who's your winner?
I'd love to see Spain win simply because of how well they played against to the Irish, and what a wonderful sight it was to see Iniesta, Silva, Xavi. I'd love to see the Spanish win it.
OK, well, have a safe trip home. Hope to see you soon. Thanks for being part of our team here in Poland. And the final score here tonight in Poznan, it ended Italy 2, Republic of Ireland 0.